on purpose, sing like a sing-along key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you, pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
Welcome everybody, Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you are tuned in, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Northwest Arkansas, maybe you're tuning in from Eastern Oklahoma, Southern Missouri, or on your phone, the World Wide Web, wherever you're catching us from. It's glad to have you along as our audience this fall episode of the show. Bo, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. It's fall's my favorite time of year. I love it. And it's weird. We've been having some ridiculously good weather here in Northwest Arkansas, so don't want to jinx it.
I know. I'm the same way. I wanted to sit and talk about one issue for a second, and this has to do with holiday cards, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I start to get those cards from people, family members, friends, whatever, and they come way early in the season.
Like on September 15th, and you're like, what is this?
Yes.
Got lost in the mail somehow, or it's just those people that are sitting there that are so amped about holiday cards that they start sending them like 3 months early.
3 months early, I know.
I mean, what do you do with those? Do you open them or do you save them?
Yeah, I know. You gotta. I kind of leave them. I open them, realize what they are, leave them in the envelope so that I can, whatever we do with them later when we're actually decorating for the holiday season.
So let me ask you this, Jason.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people that uses your card as decorations in your house? You like save them up year after year?
Yes. No, I don't keep them up, but we do.
So you throw them in the garbage.
We do put them up.
Attention, everyone at home! If you send Jason Suel a card, he's going to throw it in the trash.
It's going out. I do have to say though that maybe this is me getting older. I have started to prepare my Christmas cards a little bit earlier. I'm not saying September 15th, but I'm saying around Thanksgiving time, I'm starting to think, okay, we need to put the finishing touches on our cards so we can get that part of Christmas done, right? What about you, Bo? What do you do with I
just forward memes cards to people that are about the holidays in their email. Like some EE cards are always great. You remember the ones that you could send and it would like take your face on, like a Santa or an elf with like its cheeky butt showing and it would do a dance. Like that's generally what you'll probably get out of me.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of elf yourself happening.
Exactly.
I wonder what that'll look like.
Take an Elfie.
Yeah, take an Elfie. Well, if you are those people or if you're not those people, either way, we're glad you're tuned in because we got a great show lined up for you. Joining us as our guest today, we've got Rachel Bell, and she is Zooming with us all the way from Seattle, Washington. She has an amazing podcast called Your Last Meal, and I figured we should talk about it because it's Thanksgiving. We're almost up until the big holiday season, so it's kind of like it's food time.
And maybe we'll die.
That's so optimistic.
I mean, isn't that what her podcast is about?
Right, Your Last Meal. Yes, her podcast is all about what would you have as your last meal, so stay tuned for that. We've also got the amazing Abby Turner from A Tabletop Affair joining us, and she's got some tips on how to properly dress a turkey. You don't want your turkey going out there undressed this year.
No,
so
you got to find out what patterns really go with other patterns this year. The little booties that you put on the back of the turkey legs. Those are all so last year.
It's all important. It's important to know what's trending right now. And Bang, the rap artist, is definitely trending. We've got Jeremiah Pickett joining us a little bit later on the program as well. But right now, folks, something really spectacular and special. We're going to send you over to Eureka Springs, where I have the privilege of hanging out with the Bike Eureka team. So let's see what we get up to. And then we got a fantastic show lined up for you. You can catch it all later. Jason Suel out here in beautiful Eureka Springs. We're at Black Bass Lake, and Tracy Johnson joining us along with Tilly the Wonder Dog. Thank you guys so much for joining us here today.
Thanks, Jason. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you as well. We love it out here at Black Bass Lake. So we've been here before, but what's one of your favorite features about this city park?
We have been here before. We've highlighted a lot of mountain biking. One of my favorite things to do is come out here and go for a walk with my dog Tilly. As we've seen this morning walking around, we've passed several other dogs. It's a very dog-friendly, Responsible
Yeah.
dog owners are welcome in most places in Eureka, so this is a great place for your whole family and your fur baby to come.
Yes, I love that too. And you mentioned biking, which I know is something that's super cool because Eureka Springs is on the up and up of all of the biking that's happening in Northwest Arkansas. And there is a spur here at Black Bass Lake, but maybe you could talk a little bit just about the trails in general that are happening in Eureka Springs and this kind of bike culture that we're experiencing.
We have many intricate trail systems around Eureka Springs. We have Lake Leatherwood, which we featured on segments as well. The Great Passion Play, we have some trails that run through our in-town system. And then we have Black Bass Lake Trails, which is where we are now. And they're all multi-use trails, but this is more of one that I would think would be useful for a huge demographic, where you can bring your small children and your grandparents with you, and everybody can enjoy Eureka Springs and part of the trail system.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like it's more of sort of a general audience trail, right? If you can get out and go walking, then this is a place for you, Black Bass Lake. And like you said, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from downtown Eureka Springs. So this was my first time out here, and I am amazed at kind of this tucked away little lake that exists right within the heart of Eureka Springs, the community. So again, Tracy, thank you so much for having us out. Tilly, I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful experience walking around the lake today.
Sam's Furniture doing good. Shine a spotlight on your neighborhood.
Well, we've returned to Sam's Furniture. We're joined by Nick Robbins, Returning Home, nonprofit based right here in Springdale. Tell us about the work that you do in our community.
Absolutely. Returning Home is a place for men and women that are coming out of incarceration that have a past that is hindering the future they desire. We'd love to come alongside them in that process.
And you were also talking about how you have a facility where they can stay, but also you provide services if they're not just staying at the facility. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, we have a food pantry, clothing closet. We help people get jobs. We have classes, but then we also have a residential component for men pulling directly from prison. They're looking to stay for 90 days.
Well, if people are watching right now, they want to learn more about the organization, how can they do that?
Yeah, you can go to our website. It's www.returninghomenwa.com.
Thank you so much. Bo, what's going on?
I think I'm gonna return home with this lamp.
This is not what that means. Welcome back, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you are tuned in, and we have got a special guest joining us right now. Rachel Bell is coming to us from Seattle, Washington, and I just figured that, man, it's the time of year when we all want that comfort food, and so Rachel does a podcast. She does a lot of stuff with food. So thanks for zooming in with us, Rachel.
Hello.
Hello. And a little bit of context, I think, for our Northwest Arkansas audience. You were actually here for the Roots Festival a couple of Roots Festivals ago.
Just last year, I think with the pandemic, everything feels like it was 5 years ago, but yeah, it was only 1 year ago.
What did you think of your time here in Arkansas when you were with us?
I honestly loved it. I think like a lot of people on the West Coast, we're like, what's Arkansas? I loved Fayetteville. I just thought that it was super cute and very cool. And everybody was so much friendlier than people are in Seattle. There's something called the Seattle Freeze, which means we're famous for being polite, but not very warm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so being in the Fayetteville area, I was like, oh my God, everyone's talking to me. I got in like these deep conversations with my Uber drivers. But yeah, the food was awesome. The music was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And I got to meet you, which was so fun.
I know, and we have kind of struck up a friendship. I came and house sat, we're gonna say house sat for you, for a few nights and hung out at your place while you were traveling abroad. So it's great to see you, even not in person, but virtually like this. So for our viewers at home, tell us about your podcast.
Sure. So it's called Your Last Meal, and I interview celebrities like John Waters and Neil deGrasse Tyson, Alicia Silverstone, Zach Braff, all kinds of people about what they would choose to eat for their last meal. And we also talk about their lives and we talk about food. But once we establish the last meal, I go out and I do a bunch of other interviews. So we learn the history or the science or the culture of that food. I have learned through this that, food is so much more than just eating. Food is politics, food has to do with immigration. Food just runs so deep in our society. So you learn interesting facts, like in Utah, they sell more Jell-O than anywhere else in the world.
Really?
Mormon people, it turns out, really love Jell-O casseroles.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you also interviewed this year, I think you interviewed one of my favorite singer-songwriter, Benjamin Gibbard, right? Didn't you have him on at some point?
I did, yeah.
Yes. I love him. And I know it's hard for you probably to play favorites, but do you have any guests that you were like really jazzed about getting on your podcast?
Number one favorite is the fashion designer Isaac Mizrahi. Him and I just hit it off and clicked, and he is one of the most hilarious, warmest people. He doesn't have that, I'm a celebrity, I'm up here and you're down here kind of thing. If he likes you, he likes you. And we struck up a friendship, and he ended up sending me a jar of his homemade tomato sauce, which is a part of his last meal. So that was really special. I ended up going to New York, and he invited me to his apartment, and we cooked together. So him and I have a little friendship. So just personally, that was really fun.
I'm curious, do you have a favorite holiday? I know we're kind of in the holiday season right now. What's your favorite holiday?
Well, my favorite holiday isn't this season. It's actually Passover, which is in the spring.
Okay.
But every year I have a huge Hanukkah party. This is the first thing that's actually kind of making my heart hurt, because I usually invite 100 people, which you've been to my house.
Yeah, you have 100 people in there?
It's not a 100-person place.
No.
And I make so many latkes. And I make it at the stove, and I call it latke prison, because everybody is talking and laughing and having a good time. And I am slaving away, flipping hundreds of latkes at the stove, because I believe that you cannot make them in advance. They are only good right out of the oils.
I want to come to your party. Maybe some year I'll be able to be up there in the Pacific Northwest and get to taste yours, because I know we would lose the flavor and the sense of the community if you've mailed them to us, right? So we got to be there with you at some point. Before we let you go, Rachel Bell, tell us where folks can find your podcast. Where is it?
Yeah, so Your Last Meal, you can listen anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Stitcher, or you can go to yourlastmealpodcast.com and follow on Instagram, also Your Last Meal Podcast.
Yes, you've got some beautiful Instagram photos as well. Your Instagram presence is awesome. Hey, thank you for taking the time to visit with us here in Northwest Arkansas. Great to see you virtually, and maybe you'll be back down here in our neck of the woods. We can have you on the show in person at some point. But thank you, Rachel Bell, for joining us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night, Western Arkansas.
Bye. Stay with us, folks. We got more happening later.
Smith & Associates Real Estate is a proud sponsor of Later with Jason Suel. They're excited to be a part of the growth and continued success in Northwest Arkansas.
Shout out to everybody out there watching this. Drop my hits like, watch look sick like, if you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. If you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. Drop my hits like, watch look sick like, if you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. If you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. 25 carats, that's a quarantine. Neck, wrist, sick, need quarantine. If you don't know me, I'm the one, yeah. If you don't know me, I'm the one, yeah. Hand sanitizer, I'm over clean. Ball on the hater like I'm Kobe Bean. If you don't know me, I'm the one, yeah. Out in LA like LeBron, yeah. Drop my hits like, Watch look sick like, if you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. If you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. Drop my hits like, watch look sick like, if you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. If you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. Hey, double chains on, ain't no slavery. I ain't doing it unless you paying me. I'm out in Bahamas where Bahamians be. So y'all ain't really got nothing to say to me. Don't play with me, yeah. Hooped up like a young Michael J. Hey, Grizzy, when I'm on the mic, don't play. When you see me out, I got the bank on me and bank on me, so I can drop my hits like, watch look sick like, if you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. If you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. Drop my hits like, watch look sick like, if you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. If you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. Watch look sick like, if you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. If you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. Drop my hits like, watch look sick like, if you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah. If you wanna roll with me, come on, yeah.
All right, folks, welcome back later with Jason Suel. So glad that you are tuned in. And we have got, man, she is amazing. Abby Turner from A Tabletop Affair is joining us. We know we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, so and even Christmas, right? Some people have
or
turkey
just
at
in
Christmas.
general. I love eating turkey. Look at that turkey.
Look at that
I
turkey.
want to eat it every day.
So you were saying, Abby, that a lot of people have questions with you about how to properly dress the turkey, right? So fill us in.
So I name my turkey every year because throughout the roasting process, you baste, and it's almost like you're nursing a drink. So we helped her out. Her name is Tina this year. So this is Tina. And I took her right off of the roasting rack. You are going to get a plate. You can see this plate is not super big. It's probably 12 by 9, 12 by 10. And because you have a smaller plate, you don't have to have as much filler on the plate. So we are gonna move Tina onto this plate. You can see how she really, I'm gonna move this out of the way, but you can really see how it fills up the plate. And then we will take colorful things like black grapes. We'll even do a couple of apples, and you just want to fill this in all the way around the plate. I've also taken my air fryer and I have fried up or roasted up some red onions. I've done some garlic that way.
I bet that smells amazing.
Put a couple of sprigs of rosemary in there, and when you use green with food at all, it signals this trigger in our brain that says, hey, this is fresh and this is really yummy.
My goodness, that looks absolutely delicious.
You make it look so easy.
I know.
It's just you grab some fruit and
the more you pile on, the better it looks, the more full it looks. The turkey really, I can't see the front side there for you, but it really, the more you put on there, the better. So don't skimp on your sides. Grapes, red onions, garlic, sprigs of rosemary, all of that helps fill out the plate of the turkey.
See, I feel like every time I've ever tried to do it, it ends up like the Charlie Brown Christmas, and it's like popcorn and jelly beans and a rubber band, and it doesn't look as nice as yours.
That's beautiful. Now, I know you have something else special for us that folks can enjoy potentially at home during the holiday season. Yeah, walk us through it.
You know, I love mimosas. And that's a popular drink, especially when you're doing breakfast with family or you're waiting around for the turkey to be ready. But instead of doing a traditional mimosa, let's make one with cranberry and some spices. So I have made a cranberry syrup. All this is water, honey, cranberries, and a little bit of cinnamon. So I made my own syrup. You can also buy a syrup at the store if you want. So we have that. And then we'll put 2 cans of ginger beer in here. Then we'll put a little bit of elderflower liqueur. So all of this can be purchased at your local kind of liquor store or grocery store if they have that. So those, we'll do 4 ounces of elderflower liqueur. And then we'll do an entire bottle of kind of a rosé, sparkling rosé. You really want to bring out the sweetness of the cranberry.
It's
Once we do
barefoot
that,
Contessa in here, just making a 7-liter cocktail. I love it.
that's right. So then we'll pour it in there and we will serve it with okay guys, let me tell you something about blood oranges in the winter. They are so nice and so pretty. So these are great for a beautiful, look at the color of that. So you
Perfect
put that
garnish.
in there, you have a great drink. This can be experienced all day.
I can't wait I'm going to experience that all season long, I think. And that turkey looks amazing. If our viewers are interested, want to learn more about what you do, Abby, where can they find you on social media, but also on the internet? What's your website?
Yeah, so I'm at tabletopaffair.com. Both of these recipes are up there. You can also subscribe to my newsletter. It comes out on Mondays, and I give all of these recipes on a weekly basis. Also, they're both over on Instagram. You can click on any of the tiles on Instagram, and it'll take you straight to the recipe. So, I have a friend. Did you see him back there?
I did.
Yeah, but find me on Instagram and have a great holiday.
Yeah, you have a great holiday as well. Thanks so much for joining us on the show. That stuff looks amazing. Your spritzer brings all the dogs to the yard, I guess. That's why you have a friend behind you there. Yes. Stay with us, folks. We got more happening later. Thanks for joining us on our show, everybody. Remember, you can find us out there on your social media platforms. Send us an email over at laterwithjasonsuel.com. And before we leave this episode, we got to thank our whole lineup of amazing guests, starting with Rachel Bell, joining us all the way from Seattle, Washington, to talk about her podcast, Your Last Meal.
And speaking of meals, we had Abby Turner dress the turkeys and make those cocktails. It was awesome.
Yes, and we sent it out with a bang. We had Bang, the rap artist Jeremiah Pickett, on the show. And that is our show, folks. We'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodiles.